Hey, what's up, internet friends around the globe, mainly Australia and the US? DJ Felony back live on YouTube. Welcome to Felony Talk, the only place on the internet where you can go to get all your UFO cyber cult news. Got a special episode here. Gonna do a live recording here for an episode of Felony Talk. I'm gonna put up on YouTube in a little bit, and this episode is gonna be about the most established grifter on UFO Twitter that you have probably never heard of. This guy has made the rounds when it comes to grifting his UFO and alien stories. He's been all around the podcast circuit, and he'll be the first to tell you about it. Who I'm talking about is a guy named Chris O'Leary. He recently, just today, actually about an hour ago, came across my radar again with some post he was making, which appeared to be him explaining that his brother is no longer going to be participating in the UFO alien grift with him. And I'm going to break down this statement because I found it really interesting. And Chris O'Leary hit the scene roughly, I'd say about a year and a half, 2 years ago is when I noticed him first on UFO Twitter. And he was coming in, he's what I call a mega experience. He's that term I use, mega experiencer. And when I say these mega experiencers have killed ufology and specifically UFO Twitter, ruined any credibility, any kind of serious conversation, this is exactly who I am talking about. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to think that's a little harsh to saddle that much blame on, one person. But this type of experiencer is the perfect prototype of a mega experiencer that killed the credibility of UFO Twitter and ufology. And what these people do is they barrage with a never-ending waterfall of stories, abduction stories, experience stories, encounters. This guy actually includes his family. His brother's involved, his mom's involved, and it never comes with any kind of proof. There's never photographs, there's never any other witnesses other than, the wacky brother. And they expect everyone to just swallow this never-ending line of story after story. They increase and they increase in level as they go, because you got to top the last story. You can't go down, you got to go up. If Jason Sands' bullshit taught us anything. And I got a clip from one of my first videos I ever did on based around UFO Twitter. Actually, it's one of my first videos ever, was about Chris O'Leary, and this was back when I was like really honestly just learning the buttons and just the very basics of how to actually cut a clip from a space. And I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and this will kind of set up the tweets that I'm gonna go ahead and break down on Chris O'Leary. Chris O'Leary broke into the scene, UFO Twitter. He was getting criticized immediately because he's a stand-up comedian in his real life trade. I guess he's possibly an established stand-up comedian. I've never heard of him. He's one of these guys that'll tell you how great he is. That's one of the best things he does is tell you how awesome he is. It seems to be his main gimmick, is explaining how awesome he is and how everyone should listen to him. And a lot of people, when he first hit the scene, they thought he was LARPing, because his stories were, even by UFO Twitter standards, they were out there, about how evil aliens and all this shit. We need to be preparing to battle the aliens and shit. And yeah, we'll go ahead and jump over there. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Let's see, I think I put it up in the lab here. Yep, got it all ready to go. Alright, and this is the guy in question, Chris O'Leary. Like I said, he popped up on the scene Oh, look, I got the badge of honor. He's blocked me. I asked too many questions for these guys, bro. You can't be asking questions to the mega experiencers. That's a no-no. Um, but look, he says right here, stand-up comedian and comedy writer. So a lot of people would talk about his wacky alien stories about him and say, is this a bit? Like, is this a LARP? Like, are you playing a character? Because he's a comedy writer. Um, he says right here, radio, lyric, comedy podcast, painter, seems like he's an artist. But his entire career lately has been selling alien lies, and the going is good right now. You have a lot of people, Jason Sands, getting on documentaries. You have Jay Anderson. You have these people sparking these full-on careers based on telling alien and UFO lies, and he jumped into the hot tub of UFO Twitter. I believe about a year and a half ago. Let's see what his account says. It says 2016, so it says he's been on Twitter forever. But I noticed him around the circuit of UFO Twitter about a year and a half ago. This is a space that this is typical O'Leary, Chris O'Leary. This is basically what you get from this guy. 99% of the time when he's either in a space you're hosting or if he's hosting a space, and he has zero tolerance for people that don't fully believe his dumbass bullshit. And yeah, even Kimball, you're about to see here. There's a little argument between him and UFO Intros, who is creepy Kimball. Kimball is actually a believer of all the alien nonsense, and this guy won't even can't even get along with him. You'll see. Let's go ahead and play it.
Talk about what we have lived through and with in our lives. These
Listen
aren't
to it.
stories. I've always resented, that, oh, we just have stories. Let me just tell you all that. Like we do.
They're absolutely stories. Why they're considered just stories is because he's never provided any kind of evidence towards any of them. No, and by evidence I mean photographs, video evidence, recording, sound. He's never provided any other witnesses that aren't his mom or his brother. So that's what I mean by they are only stories until you start to provide some type of evidence, which he's given a countless amount of experience stories. So how has he never caught any kind of evidence? Like, that's where I call bullshit.
Chris, I don't think they're just stories. I'm just saying the average listener will consider them to be just stories.
You can't even respond. Let me respond. Yeah, well,
Such a
it's a
smug
foolish thing to do
prick.
because we don't have stories. We have two lifetimes of experience dealing with mind control, hive-minded alien beings who are invading this fucking planet and taking everything they want and treating the human race as if they were livestock, as if they were just another resource.
You get what when I say that a lot of people thought and still to this day think he's LARPing. It's like he's playing a UFO crazy that you would see from like television or something, like one of the nerds from The Big Bang Theory or something, a conspiracy nut. Like, it's like he's playing a character. I've encountered that a lot on UFO Twitter with these mega experiencers. But this guy is, like I said, has done the circuit. He's been around. He's told his dumb stories all over the place. And that's what they are, is they're just dumbass stories.
These beings treat human beings without any regard.
A lot of fear
They don't
mongering.
think we have. They're not coming here to raise your intellect or your credit rating or
Credit
your
rating.
consciousness. The first thing aliens do when they get near to you is lower your consciousness. All right? They turn you into puppets. They don't think you like we think our dogs should live a good life and have hobbies and games and play fun and be happy. These
This is something these guys will often do is They try to pull on your emotional strings. Like, they want to enslave you. They want to, like, they don't even think you're a level of a dog. And it's like, dude, keep your fear mongering for your imaginary monsters to yourself, you fucking grown man child.
Beings take over your mind and use that control to march you into their ships so they
God.
can take you back and do whatever the fuck they want to you. Surgeries, forced reproduction. That's what's going on.
That's what I'm talking about when I say the fear mongering attached to your like emotional strings. Forced reproductions. Oh yeah, do you have any evidence of this? Well, I have stories.
Somebody just left, but I don't care who.
Listen to that. Somebody just left, but I don't care. This guy, there's a running joke on UFO Twitter where if you leave while he's like going on one of his rambling like tirades about some alien experience, he like, dude, he holds it against you. He notices and he might even block you. He'll like, it's like you disrespected him by leaving while he was rambling his, alien story for the 50th time that week. He just said rather someone left, but I don't even care. Oh yeah, then why'd you say something? It sounds like you totally care, bro.
That's what I am going to say to them. These are the facts of the situation.
There's no facts.
I am not only an eyewitness, I was an active participant. I'm not a victim. I'm a fighter. And this
Chris,
is what
but
we've been fighting
you're treating
It gets really bad right here.
me as though I don't believe you.
No, I'm not. I'm responding to your foolish notion that I should get on Chris Ramsey's show and say, please forgive us. Please believe us. We just have stories. We don't have fucking stories. Any more than a guy who fought his way through Fallujah comes back with
Listen to this shit.
stories. He comes back with chilling accounts of life and
Comparing
death,
his alien
struggles
lies to a
against an enemy.
veteran
And,
from Fallujah.
That's the point, though,
survival.
Chris. Like, do you think anyone
Mid-sentence,
who
right
hears
there
the
in
story of
mid-sentence.
someone from Fallujah actually believes their story? No, I mean they believe it, right? But they can't.
Dude, that shit. Comparing your goofy alien lies to get on podcasts to veterans that served and fought, the Marines that took Fallujah. Are you kidding me? Like, oh, it's just next level. It's narcissism is what it is. Either it's narcissism and mental health issues, or like I said, this guy is just LARPing and laughing at all of us. And we'll get into that when I go over this Twitter post here. But the entire ufology community has engaged with this guy. He's done the podcast circuit. He's never showed anyone any proof of anything. And if you ask any kind of logical questions or show any kind of like side eye, he tears you up. And that's what he's about to do to Kimball here.
Can't experience it.
What?
They weren't in Fallujah. They don't know what that felt like.
You know what? If you keep interrupting me in mid-sentence, I am going to mute you the way you mute me in your spaces. So show a little respect and get a little respect.
I'm just trying to get to the point.
What
Go
is
ahead.
your point?
My point is that I believe you. That's not
Will
the.
you
I'm
please
just.
stop
I'm
saying
trying
that. You
to.
believing us is completely irrelevant.
Okay. So whatever. We'll skip.
So this guy gets angry and goes off on you if you don't believe him, and if you tell him you do believe him, he gets angry. These wanker whistleblowers, man. I swear, when I'm not being dramatic when I say this shit right here killed UFO Twitter and killed ufology. It's guys like this, Jason Sands, and Jolly and Alien Mountain. It's these goofy ass stories where you're not allowed to push back. Or you're like, they'll start throwing words like harassing and, bullying experiencers or you're against disclosure if you think this guy's a crackpot. It killed any real credibility or seriousness that the field had of UFO Twitter specifically, but it works on all of ufology. Jason Sands goes all the way to the documentaries. Jay Anderson is on Rogan representing the community, talking about drinking PP with Wilcock and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to minimize your experience, what you went through, what Sean went through. I'm not. I really am not. I'm just
You
saying that
you
like you
could
can say it as feverishly as you want, but like without without evidence, there reaches a point where the hubris does become a little people their eyes will glaze over because they're like, okay, well none of this is proven. We don't know that it actually happened.
Without evidence. That's the key. The key two words. You don't have any evidence, bro. They're just stories. They're just stories, bro. That's all you have. I can make up stories. And that's the worst part about all of this is what people see is anyone could do this. I could do this. You could do this. All it takes is a little bit of courage and testicular like lack of give a fuck to go out and just tell lies and just escalate the lies and not care about your reputation and just go balls to the wall with it. And that's what this guy seems to do, and Jolly all of a sudden meeting aliens in the mountain. Jason Sands goes from giving an alien his jacket to assassinating aliens. It seems to be like put the throttle to the floor, and anyone could do it. You don't need proof. You can just get all offended and defensive if anyone asks you for proof, and anyone could do it. Anyone could do this shit. Anyone with a serious lack of moral base could do it. If you got integrity, it's gonna be hard to make a career telling lies about UFOs and aliens.
Right? Even though it's you and your brother and your mom and your dad and your brother's a cop and people think that means something, which it does to some extent. I'm just saying that like I think it's credible, but
you
I'm a
do,
guy who believes
but
in
the other
UFO. I've
people
had
won't.
my own experiences. I'm just saying the average person hasn't had experiences, and so I'm not saying to temper down your message. I'm trying to get you
Dude,
to, if you can just offer a caveat, not an apology, but just a caveat and acknowledge.
Offer a caveat. Give Kimball a caveat, Chris. Just give him his caveat. What the fuck does that even mean? Can you just give me a caveat, bro?
Where look, I'm just,
This is
I'll let you
funny.
speak again in a minute. I had to mute you.
He mutes him, dude. He muted him. You can't have a conversation with this guy. Look who's in the space. Doomer Daddy's in there. It's just look at my tuba harasser. I was laughing so hard listening to this shit. Sometimes you stumble across some just random gems in this community, and if Panda and his crew, they record everything, that way they don't miss anything. I can't really do that. I don't have the setup for it, so I just have to get lucky and catch some every once in a while, and this one I always thought was special. It's one of my first videos, even though it didn't do great, but I always thought it was special.
The hubris I hear is from you, who is telling us that, oh, your approach with your hubris, it won't work because I know better. Which of us is actually rocketing to the fucking top of this entire UFO circus, getting invited across the country onto the most prestigious, highest viewed podcasts there are?
That's what it's all about. In this guy's mind, that's what it's all about. Which of us are getting invited on podcasts? That's where his mind is. That says I'm right. It doesn't matter that everything I've said is completely pulled out of my butthole, and I actually involved my family in my lies, it sounds like. Doesn't matter. I'm getting invited on these fucking stupid ass UFO podcasts. And actually, I'm a little impressed with Kimball's reaction here.
We
Do you think that means do you think that's relevant though? Like, does that matter really? Who's more popular?
Right.
Okay, I had to remove you from speaker.
He took him off speaker, bro. Because Kimball asked him, well, like, that's what you're looking for? Is like podcasts? That's what's important here is getting invited to podcasts. Dude, he booted him. Took him off speaker. This guy, man. I mean, come on. What a smug asshole. How do you have a conversation with somebody like this? How?
Don't interrupt me again. You can't. If you do, I'll fucking block you like I did before. Because I don't need your shit.
I don't
There's a
need your
difference, and
shit.
you just pulled this out of your ass before. First you say, "Oh, these people don't believe it," well, and I say, "Well, we're getting on the most prestigious programs to get our viewpoint out," and you go, "Well, it's just being popular, just being popular."
He's so
You're
upset.
right. These things are vehicles for information.
It's
To
not
be,
information. That's the problem. These are vehicles for bullshit. That's why people clown vetted podcast and others. It's because it the bullshit seems to float to the top here. And this is a good example of that. And it kills all credibility. I mean, we're already past that. I mean, there's no going back now, but this is how we got here is guys like this. This isn't science.
put out there. The fact that we're now going on shows with 1 million viewers, with 2 million viewers,
Oh,
with 5 million subscribers, you bet your
oh.
fucking ass it matters. And we did not get these invitations. First of all, they're ones we didn't seek out. These people contacted us,
Wait, what?
and we didn't get them by listening to you telling us we have to say, "Oh, we don't
Yeah,
have any
fuck
evidence."
you, Kimball.
We do have fucking evidence.
What
We
did
have
UFO
two
intros ever
people's
do for
eyewitness
ufology?
testimony.
What
We have
podcast have you
witnesses
been on?
to several of these abduction
How many times did you
occurrences
go on
that are
Goof
not
on?
family members even. And eyewitness testimony puts people in the electric chair far more than forensic evidence or trace evidence ever did or ever will.
I don't think
Because
that's
we
true.
realize in this planet that if
Look.
people witness things and
Kimball's
experience
got his
things,
hands up.
that is, it's called testimony. It's not called anecdotes. It's not called stories.
Yeah, but they need
It's called
collaborative
fucking
evidence.
testimony. And my brother, by the way,
Testimony
being a police officer,
alone isn't worth
is
much in
treated in
most
court
court
as
cases.
an expert witness.
You have to have
in
things to
every
back
court
it
proceeding
up.
He's been in because of the things that are required to be an active duty police officer. And that
See,
includes-
this is something. Okay, this is something I want to talk about. He's regularly bringing up his brother as the police officer. He just went on a rant. I don't want to rewind it. It's not worth it. But about how because he's a police officer, he would be considered a expert witness in any court case. I don't believe that's true. But I I feel like he's really using his brother's credentials to boost the credibility of his lies. And I'm gonna lead into that with this Twitter post. I think that's why his brother is cutting ties with this situation.
training and observation, attention to detail. It requires.
Alright, he just rambles about nothing there. But that's basically what happens when you ask, this guy any kind of questions, or if you tell him, well, like, can we see some evidence? That's what you get. And he posted this Twitter post today. Yeah, it went out today. Let me pull up the first one, and I'll be able to tell you. And I just found it interesting. It reminded me back to that, and I could have done this in a lot more convenient way, but I'm an idiot, so I did it like this. Give me 1 second here. I'll just go over the gist of it. So yeah, I believe it was posted today. I'll verify when I do my edit. And it says, my brother Sean has ended our efforts to inform people about the alien crisis. My family has been at the center of the alien abduction since 1959, blah, blah, blah. They've taken us hundreds of times. Mom and dad are dead and never got to tell they what they've been through. See, that was going to be my next question. Has anyone verified this stuff with these other members of the family? So his parents are deceased. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry, you know that you lost your parents at a young age. That's sad. Um, but now that's just him and his brother. His brother has been on Twitter before, but my theory is his brother doesn't want to do the grift anymore. It made me happy to work with my brother. This is giving me a higher purpose. Blah blah blah. Um, there's a few to get through, so I'm gonna try to move through them here. I got them numbered here. This was just one super long pose, like real long TJ manic rant, like I do when I'm upset about something. It says we were supposed to travel to Montreal to go to Area 52 with Chris Ramsey the past few days. Ramsey was the interview also when Kimball was telling him like, dude, you're really gonna go in there with like no evidence of anything. And this appearance gonna record several episodes. I got my passport. Sean refused to even make a list of incidents to talk about. I offered to help him be more ready. He refused. It sounds like that guy doesn't want to do the grift anymore, doesn't it? Like he's like, look, dude, I'm just gonna go back to living a normal life where we don't lie about aliens all day. Like that's just what I see here. And I'm sure, they're brothers. He's gonna protect his brother and not out him and not, throw him under the bus. I bet he'd probably release some statement like, "Oh well, it was interfering with other parts of my life, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the UFO stuff on hold for now. My brother's stories, blah blah blah." And then it says, last week Sean was convinced the Ross Coulthart had sabotaged our interview on Area 52. That's a podcast with Ramsey. This is where it gets weird. He starts accusing Ross Coulthart now, telling Ramsey he wouldn't be on the show if he were going to interview us. This was false. Our discussions with Ross over the last few years were pleasant, but he certainly wasn't interested in learning the gray aliens are no goddamn good. Ross is only interested in embarrassing the government for keeping secrets. Sean kept me. It sounds like Coulthart doesn't buy it. Coulthart thinks it's there. I mean, dude, Coulthart has always at least provided a picture or something. Like it seems like he's the kind of guy that if you brought nothing but stories, just decades of stories, he'd be like, that's great, but do you have any evidence, any proof? And it sounds like that might have been what happened here, but it says Sean kept me hanging on until the day we were supposed to leave. Then he bailed. I don't want to be a train. He said he didn't want to be on the train. Contacted Ramsey and said he should just interview me. Ramsey declined. So he wanted out. He said, I'm done. You can go do the interview. I ain't playing no more. I don't want to be on a train that long. That's an interesting quote to put in there. Is that specifically a train, or hypothetically, I'm getting off this train? Sean confessed yesterday he was recently developed an anxiety about talking about the aliens. It started as this interview grew close. The aliens have pacified him and removed him as a threat to their agenda. It's been a smart move for them. Humanity loses. Dude, it's severe narcissism. Your life on a great big grand scale. It almost, like, if I had to guess, his brother's trying to get his shit together. And it's like, dude, I'm done doing this alien dance. Sean confessed yesterday that he has recently developed an anxiety about talking about the aliens. Blah blah. Yeah, I read that. The only one that could have stopped The only one they cannot stop is me. I can't be controlled by them. Dude, that music and GTA's wild. I have a fire that won't burn down, but they knew that if they shut up the cop, it would go a long way to shutting us both up by limiting my chances to speak on big podcasts. It's all about big podcasts, bro. The aliens don't want me to make all that big, sweet podcast money. I can still write my book, but my strength lies in my speaking ability, so I don't see writing as the way to get through to people. Who reads books in 21st century? People are very supportive of me, blah blah blah. He's talking like he's like done, but I mean, he can still go around lying about aliens. Just because his brother doesn't want to do it anymore doesn't mean he has to take his ball and go home. This was also interesting here. We were going to change this whole discussion, but frankly, I haven't felt this alone since my parents died. That's sad. And the rift now between me and Sean is deep. This is what I'm talking about. This field, ufology, it's bad for people. It ruins people. I don't ever see people like, I don't know. It just seems to divide people. Mental health is a major part of the, like, a lot of the problems in the community. So fuck it, this alien problem is yours. I did my best and it was pretty goddamn good. Time for me to use my last year some other way. I'll return to painting, which I completely abandoned to go after the grace. I haven't paid in a year. It's hard to let go of a battle this important. I don't know, like, he's not gonna stay away. But he tabbed a bunch of people here, and one of them is Grider. Why'd you tag Grider? Like, is it crucial to the universe that the mega wanker Grider has this information right away? Like, I don't understand when people do this. They'll do these like epic like declarations, and then they'll tag a bunch of people, and you'll see like UFO intros in the middle. It's like or red panda koala. It's like I don't like. Is that a way of like dispersing the message to the masses of UFO Twitter? It's just funny. But Grider is one of them. That's silly. Um, yeah, I mean. Sounds like to me, his brother doesn't want to do the alien grift anymore. And, yeah, I just found it really interesting. I know he's gonna, like I said, they're brothers. He's gonna always stick up for his brother and not admit that that was the case. But that seems to be, I mean, he's almost telling on himself in some of the language he uses. To get off the train, I don't want to be on the train that long. Even that part's interesting. That's all I got for y'all. I'm gonna get ready to jump over and play GTA. I'll keep an eye on it. There's a couple of things I want to do. I want to check on, and I'll put it in the update when I do the edit. Put it up on YouTube. I might do a Twitter space later tonight, so be watching for that. I'm not sure how long I'm going to play, probably just a couple hours. But thanks everyone for checking out the channel. There were a couple people coming through, that's awesome. If anyone wants to support financially, buymeacoffee.com/TJFelony. If you guys watch my videos, my intros regularly, subscribe, like, share, all that crap. It'd be awesome to get my subscriptions up. I know I get like on my YouTube videos 200 to 300 views on like the ones I put a little bit more effort into, and my subscription's down, like, so I'm probably like less than 50% on my subscribers, so it'd be nice to get that boosted up. So yeah, subscribe, get a chance. I'm gonna try to move away from, you know, some of the specific things I was doing on Twitter. So hopefully I'll start to get a new audience in. But thanks for watching. Stick with me to play GTA 5. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Peace out. Be good to each other.